How we doing, everybody? This is Relly, and this is Sports Pain. Today, the Arizona Cardinals, 2022, going into 2023. Where do they stand? What's going on with all this? This is a mess. We have a quarterback that got extended. We have a head coach that knew his quarterback since high school, who is not getting the job done. We have a general manager who has one playoff game in his 10-year tenure, and it is just not working out. We could argue things with Patrick Peterson. We could blame Kyler Murray, him yelling at his wide receivers. We could say Zach Ertz getting hurt, tearing his ACL and MCL, and he's not going to be back for a while. Maybe he's back midway through next year, depending on his recovery. There's a lot going on. Coaches being fired, people that should be fired, people that should not be here, some people that need a chance. This is an absolute mess. So let's start with what I think is the general manager, Steve Keim. Dude, you shouldn't be here. The fact that you got extended is an abomination. Although, Cliff Kingsbury, I'm not sure if it's play calling that he needs to give up or something else, but again, it's not working. And the fact that we didn't hear how long and how much the money was for the two of these guys that got extended just this offseason, kind of confusing, almost alarming. Then we go into Kyler Murray. He seems to be getting into it with everybody. Getting into it with Cliff Kingsbury, the head coach, wide receivers getting into it with him. There's new guys into this scheme, and I'm sorry, but I'll just put it to you this way. This team is not a playoff team. It's not looking good for the future, and let's see. This offense has so much invested into it, and look at how many points they have scored in the first half of games. Everyone's complaining about the defense, how they need more pass rush, how they need better corners. Well, if you look at some of these teams, right? If your defense is spending the majority of the time on the field and your offense is not getting the job done, you're not scoring enough. Second half, what's your defense supposed to do? Make up for it? Supposed to score touchdowns because their offense is incapable? Everybody has underperformed, and if you look at how much is invested in this offense, look at how much D-Hop's making. Look at how much Kyler just got paid for a guy that has not won a playoff game. James Conner's capable, but I'm not going to put him totally at fault. This offensive line has not been addressed since before Josh Rosen days. Seriously, offensive line should have been priority one in these last couple of drafts, these last couple of off seasons, and what have they done? They've basically superglued it. Instead of rebuilding, brand new building blocks, keep this together. And I understand that their tight end coach is their new offensive line coach now, but it's already kind of too late. This has been a massacre for the last 4, maybe 5 years. This is rough, bro. This is absolutely just tough. It's terrible. If you look at everything going on, there's so much invested in this offense between Kyler, D-Hop. We could include Robbie, but halfway through, so I'll cut him a break. Zach Ertz, Trey McBride. Do I think he's a bust? I think it's too early for that, but you got to get him more involved in the offense. And listen, do I think he had a bad game recently? Yes. Do I think the talent is there? Yes. But just remember, nobody thought that Travis Kelce was going to be a top 10, and depending on who you talk about, top 5 tight end of all time, and could potentially be the best tight end of all time at the end of his career. Nobody thought any of that. There's talent and there's time for Trey McBride. So don't count out the kid and don't kill his confidence. Straight up. Going into other points, well, again, when we're going into the draft talk already, I mean, it is December. It's okay to talk about the draft. We just had a guy win the Heisman just the other day. My thought is, if you cannot get a tackle, see what you can do for trading down. Now, I'm not sure how the quarterback situation is going because some people love the class, some people hate the class. Me personally, I got to do a little bit more research before I make that claim. But if there is not a stud corner to be taken at that spot, between spots 5 and 10, or a tackle, which I think is priority one, trade down. I don't think there's going to be a player in mind for you to trade. But really, what else needs to be said? Do I think that J.J. Watt is going to come off the books and go to another team? Yes, that's going to save salary cap room. And Robbie Anderson, would I cut him to save $12 million? I think I would. Because even though Rondale Moore can't stay healthy, Hollywood Brown, I understand that he's been hurt, but if you looked at the injury that he sustained, I'm not going to hold that against him. But really, so much has gone into this offense, and there needs to be more through it. Now, I'm not sure if you blame Cliff or you blame Kyler or if you blame a combination of the sort. And do I think that Kyler Murray, listen, I'm not going to talk about his height. I'm not going to talk to him about playing video games, especially since I got Call of Duty on a PS4, 18 inches away from me right now. I'm not going to do any of that. But if you look at on the field, if you see something you don't like, is it bad for you to call an audible? Are there plays where you simply don't like and you say, hey, I want to make an adjustment? Everyone's wondering who's to blame and what to do. And the blame is shared on everybody. This is a culture disaster. This is a performance disaster. This is people not being held accountable. And there is just a lot of wrongdoing. Do we think that Cliff Kingsbury could be the scapegoat? Absolutely. Is there a chance that Cliff Kingsbury and Steve Keim both get relieved of their duties after this year? Yes, but I'm not sure how likely it is. And most of all, there's a lot of people that say, screw this, can we move on from Kyler Murray? Also, not likely. Because listen, do I think that Kyler needs to do a little bit more maturing? Do I think he needs to be a little bit more of a leader? Do I think he needs to stop screaming at people and stop getting involved into it with his receivers and his coach? Yes, I do. Do I think that this homework clause was against him and it killed his confidence a little bit? And listen, do I think that the Hard Knocks thing about him taking notes in the quarterback room is for real? I don't know. Maybe that was to defend him. Maybe it's a Fugazi thing. I really don't know. None of us know. None of us know for sure unless it's reported. And the fact that that's going to get leaked out, that'd be even horrible if it was. But back to my claim. There's a lot of work to be done. But Kyler Murray is going to stay. Unless you want to trade him for Zach Wilson, be my guest. And chances of that happening? Oh, man. If I see Zach Wilson trade for Kyler Murray, I think both fan bases are going to be in uproar. You're going to have the MILF Hunter going with Cliff Kingsbury? Potentially. That would be rich. That'd be really hysterical. I'm sorry, but that would be the most hysterical thing ever. If you know, you know. And the Jet fans, they never want Kyler Murray. They want him to stay far away from here. And he would get absolutely creamed. His confidence and his emotions would just crumble. He wouldn't be able to handle it. Again, if you know, you know. So, really, if you're a Cardinals fan out there, look at me in the eye. Where do you see this team going? Where do you see the plan going forward? Are you scared? Are you nervous? Are you confident? Are you optimistic? Or do you think it's all bad? Doesn't matter if Sean Payton's involved because he was a ball boy at one point. Doesn't matter if you believe in the direction they're going in. We're going into right now. Think about it. Do I think that they're behind the dime? Do I think there's a lot of tweaks that need to be made? Yes. But do I think they're close? I actually think they're closer than you think. I just think that there needs to be more presence in there. I'm not sure if that means you get more figures in there. I'm not sure if that means better coaching. but you have to change something. This is really Demolish from Sports Pain. Take it easy, everybody. And be free to comment, suggest, and more. Take care.